If you love banana bread but want something a little more grab and go, these caramel banana muffins are exactly that. Familiar, cozy, and dressed up just enough to feel special. They're soft and tender on the inside, packed with real banana flavor, and finished with a drizzle of homemade caramel that instantly makes them feel bakery level without turning baking into a full project. This is one of my favorite ways to use up overripe bananas when I want something comforting but easy to share. So, if that sounds like your kind of baking, let's make them together. First things first, I preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius. Always start here. Banana bread waits for no one, and neither does caramel later. In a large bowl, I start by mixing all the dry ingredients together. I add 1.5 cups all-purpose flour. This gives the bread structure 1 pinch of salt. Don't skip it, it keeps everything balanced. 1 teaspoon baking soda. This is what gives the banana bread its lift and light texture. It reacts with the acidity in the bananas, helping the loaf rise instead of baking up dense or flat. I give it a quick whisk using a hand whisk, just to make sure everything is evenly combined. You can also use a sifter here. It helps break up any clumps and evenly distribute the baking soda, which means more consistent rise. And if you don't have either, no stress at all. A simple fork works just fine. This step helps the bread bake evenly and keeps the texture light. In a separate small bowl, I mix all the wet ingredients. I start by lightly beating 1 large egg. This helps everything blend smoothly instead of separating later. Then I add 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Vanilla doesn't just add flavor, it actually enhances and rounds out all the other ingredients, making the banana taste richer and sweeter without adding more sugar. It also helps neutralize any eggy taste, so the bread tastes warm and balanced instead of overly egg-forward. Banana and vanilla are best friends for a reason, and this small amount makes a big difference. I stir everything together until the mixture looks smooth, glossy, and well combined. This step might seem simple, but it matters. Evenly mixed, wet ingredients help the batter come together gently, which means a softer, more tender banana bread in the end. In the 7-quart bowl of my kitchen stand mixer, I add 2 to 3 overripe bananas. The darker and spottier they are, the better the flavor. If they look a little questionable and you're slightly embarrassed to show them on camera, you're doing it right. I mash them until completely smooth, no big chunks, using a potato masher, which is honestly my favorite way to do this. It breaks the bananas down evenly without overworking them, and it's quick and low effort. This is what gives the bread that soft, tender crumb instead of a mysterious lumpy situation. Cup sugar, for sweetness and moisture. Lately, I've been swapping part or all of this with brown sugar or honey when I want a slightly healthier loaf that's not overly sweet. Brown sugar adds a deeper caramel-like flavor, and honey keeps the bread moist with a softer sweetness. This part is really up to your taste and preference. Next, I pour in 1/3 cup melted butter, making sure it's melted and cooled. Hot butter can scramble the egg and throw off the texture. If you ever need tips on how to melt butter properly without overheating it, I do have another video all about that. I mix until fully combined. This is usually the moment when the batter already starts smelling like banana bread, and I immediately regret not doubling the recipe. I turn my mixer on low speed and slowly start mixing everything together. There's absolutely no need to crank it up. We're not whipping meringue or trying to impress anyone with mixer noise here. Banana bread likes a calm approach. Low speed is more than enough to bring the batter together gently without overworking it. If you go too fast, you risk developing too much gluten, and suddenly your cozy banana bread starts thinking it's a workout loaf. And honestly, if you don't want to use a mixer at all, you can absolutely do this whole step by hand with a simple fork or spoon. It works just as well, maybe with a tiny arm workout bonus, but nothing dramatic. At this point, I like to add the flour mixture in small portions, letting the mixer fully incorporate each addition before adding more. I've learned the hard way that dumping everything in at once usually leads to flour clouds, stubborn lumps, and a little bit of regret. Taking it slow gives me the smoothest batter with no dry pockets hiding at the bottom of the bowl. It takes an extra minute, but the texture is noticeably better and much more consistent every single time, and it saves you from scraping mystery flour off the sides later. This is definitely not the moment to be aggressive. Banana bread prefers a gentle touch. I mix slowly, and the second the flour looks hydrated, I stop. Overmixing wakes up too much gluten, and that's how soft, cozy banana bread suddenly turns dense and chewy. The kind of loaf that makes you wonder if it's supposed to be sliced or used as a paperweight. If you're ever unsure, stop mixing sooner than you think you should. A few light streaks will disappear on their own as the batter rests. Trust me, a little restraint here is the secret to a tender, bakery-style crumb every single time. batter is mixing, I like to use that time to chop the walnuts. I personally prefer medium-sized chunks, big enough to give you a nice bite, but not so large that they overpower the bread. That said, this is completely up to your personal preference. I usually do this on a cutting board with a large knife. It gives me more control and keeps the pieces nice and uneven, which I actually like for texture. If you toss them into a food processor, they can go from chunky to walnut dust very quickly. Ask me how I know. Hand chopping takes an extra minute, but it keeps the nuts from disappearing into the batter and gives you those satisfying little crunchy pockets throughout the loaf. Now I add the chopped walnuts into the batter. This is one of my favorite parts because walnuts add that perfect crunch and a slightly bitter contrast that keeps the banana bread from tipping into overly sweet territory. I like folding them in at the very end so they stay evenly distributed instead of sinking to the bottom. Every slice gets a little crunch, which makes the texture so much more interesting. If walnuts aren't your thing, pecans work beautifully here too. They're a bit softer and slightly sweeter. And, of course, if you're firmly anti-nuts, you can skip them entirely and live your best, nut-free banana bread life. The loaf will still be soft, cozy, and absolutely worth slicing into. First, I take a metal 12-cup muffin pan and line it with paper cupcake liners. Even though the liners do most of the work, I still like to give them a very light spray with cooking spray. It's a small step, but it helps make sure the muffins release easily and keeps the bottoms nice and clean. Next, I scoop the batter into the lined muffin pan, filling each liner about 3/4 of the way full. I usually use a dough scoop or a large spoon, so the muffins are even and bake at the same rate. Filling them this way gives the muffins enough room to rise nicely without overflowing or creating those awkward muffin tops that spill over the edges. Into the oven, they go for 18 to 20 minutes, right on the middle rack. I start checking at the 18-minute mark. When a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean, they're ready. Next, I move on to the caramel, and this is where things start to feel a little dramatic. Caramel has a reputation for being scary, but once you understand what's happening, it's actually very doable. You just have to stay calm and pay attention. In a small saucepan over medium heat, I combine 1 cup granulated sugar, 1/4 teaspoon salt. Then I add 1/4 cup water, just enough to cover the sugar. At this stage, it looks very unimpressive, basically wet sand, but don't be fooled. Big things are about to happen. I gently stir just until everything is evenly moistened. Then I let it come to a simmer, stirring occasionally until the sugar fully dissolves. This part is very relaxed and friendly. After about 5 minutes, I increase the heat to medium-high and stop stirring completely. From this point on, hands off. I like to think of caramel as a look but don't touch situation. Now comes the waiting game. The mixture slowly goes from clear to pale gold, and then suddenly to a deep, rich amber. Nothing happens for a while. And then everything happens very fast. This is where you stay close and don't answer emails. Caramel has a very short window between perfect and burnt, so trust your eyes more than the clock. If you're using a candy thermometer, you're aiming for about 350 degrees Fahrenheit, but honestly, the color tells you more than the number. When it smells rich and looks like liquid amber, it's ready. And that's the moment I always pull it off the heat. caramel reaches that deep amber color, I remove it from the heat and carefully stir in 4 tablespoons butter, 1/4 cup heavy cream. And this is the moment where caramel likes to show some personality. It will bubble up aggressively, totally normal, slightly intimidating, and not the time to panic. Just go slow, keep stirring, and remind yourself that this is supposed to happen. Here's one of my personal tips. Make sure your butter and cream are at room temperature. Cold ingredients can cause the caramel to seize up, and then you're standing there wondering what you did wrong. Warmish ingredients keep everything smooth and cooperative. I keep stirring until the caramel calms down, smooths out, and turns glossy. This is usually when I relax a little. Once it's shiny and silky, you're in the clear. Then I let it cool slightly. Warm caramel spreads beautifully and settles into an even layer, but hot caramel will run right off the loaf like it's trying to escape, and we definitely want it to stay right where we put it, not dripping onto the counter. One more personal tip while we're here. This caramel is incredibly versatile, so don't feel like it's a one-and-done situation. I use leftovers for drizzling over pancakes, waffles, ice cream, apple slices, or even stirred into coffee for a little treat moment. If you have extra, you can store this caramel in an airtight container or glass jar in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. It will thicken as it chills, which is totally normal. Just warm it gently in the microwave or on the stovetop, stirring until it loosens back up. And if it looks too thick, a splash of cream brings it right back to life. After baking, I let the muffins cool in the pan for about 5 minutes, just enough time for them to set and firm up slightly. This little pause makes them easier to move without falling apart. Then I transfer them to a wire rack to cool completely. I've learned over time that the wire rack really matters here. If the muffins sit in the pan too long, steam gets trapped underneath, and that's how you end up with soggy bottoms. And nobody wants that. The rack lets air circulate all around the muffins, so they cool evenly and stay soft and tender instead of damp on the bottom. Once the muffins are completely cooled, this is honestly my favorite moment. I spoon or drizzle the warm caramel over the tops, usually starting with good intentions to keep it neat, and then getting a little more generous as I go. There's no wrong way to do this. Some days, I like a light drizzle. Other days, I want that cozy, indulgent caramel layer. I just go with whatever feels right. For the final touch, I add a couple of banana chips and a few extra walnuts on top. It's totally optional, but I really like what it does. You get a little crunch, a visual hint of what's inside, and the muffins just look finished. The kind of treat you'd be happy to see waiting on the counter. Once the muffins are completely cooled, this is honestly my favorite moment. I spoon or drizzle the warm caramel over the tops, usually starting with good intentions to keep it neat, and then getting a little more generous as I go. There's no wrong way to do this. Some days, I like a light drizzle. Other days, I want that cozy, indulgent caramel layer. I just go with whatever feels right. For the final touch, I add a couple of banana chips and a few extra walnuts on top. It's totally optional, but I really like what it does. You get a little crunch, a visual hint of what's inside, and the muffins just look finished. The kind of treat you'd be happy to see waiting on the counter.